What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Media Goose channel. It is I, the Media Goose, your friend Ryan, and the goose is loose, baby. Ha! I am here today to talk to you about the New York Giants offseason. They brought in John Harbaugh, the best coach this team has had since Tom Coughlin, no doubt. He's probably better than Tom Coughlin, despite Coughlin's 2 rings. I think Harbaugh, his in-game management is excellent. His in-season management is really good, showing that he's willing to change coordinators if things aren't working. He brings a culture of toughness and accountability. His background in special teams means special teams will even be taken seriously, which I think the Giants feels like almost my whole life they haven't been great with special teams. So to have a head coach coming in who will prioritize that is really exciting, because I think bad teams forget about special teams. They act like it's not that important, but the best teams do it well. So I think that will be big. So, in terms of the roster, I think the only sure things to be here next year are Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Andrew Thomas, and our pass rushers in Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. It's been made pretty clear that Dex isn't going anywhere. Sexy Dexy's going to be a Giant. I'm thrilled with that. I think last year, I don't blame him if he wasn't completely motivated based on how horrendous Shane Bowen was as a defensive coordinator and how Dable kept him. So I don't blame Dex if he was kind of checked out. Now, there have been some really interesting reports about the Giants coming out about the way they view this roster and about the positions they're prioritizing. So, right off the bat, let me talk about the free agents we have and whether or not they'll be back. So, there's 3 main free agents to talk about. Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle, the first consistent right tackle we've had since, Kareem McKenzie. We have had a revolving door at right tackle for the last 10 years, and Jermaine Illuminor is a borderline elite pass blocking right tackle. I really don't care if he's not great at run blocking. We need to protect Jackson Dart. I would do everything I could to bring back Jermaine Illuminor. I think maybe 2 years from 34 to 40 million, where it's in that 16 to 20 million dollar range. I would do what I had to do to keep him. I don't want to go back to the market for a right tackle, and I don't really want to take an offensive lineman at 5 because I don't see any of these linemen as good enough to warrant a top 5 pick. There is no Penei Sewell in this draft. So then we have Wan'Dale Robinson, probably the most contentious free agent to be, because Giants fans are really mixed on Wan'Dale. So he had a really big statistical season, but let's examine why that's the case. Malik Neighbors was hurt almost right away. What was it, week 2? Like the first week we put Jackson Dart in, maybe against the Chargers, that Malik got hurt. So somebody had to get the volume of the targets, and it was Wan'Dale. And I personally don't want to be the team that pays him like he's a great wide receiver or even a wide receiver 1 when he's not. In my opinion, slot receivers are pretty interchangeable, and I don't think Wan'Dale is worth the money he's going to get. I think you can get a cheap bounce-back veteran or draft somebody in the mid-rounds or something else. I don't think I'd pay Wan'Dale. I don't want a receiver as small as him and with as little down-the-field big playability as him making over $20 million. I'd only be interested in Wan'Dale for 12 to 15 million. 3 years, 36 is the ceiling of what I'd offer him. So I don't anticipate he'll be back. I think a team like the Titans could use that for Cam Ward. Obviously, Brian Dable's there. I don't know. He could fit in a lot of places, but the Titans, the Dolphins, teams that are needy at wide receiver and have money to spend. And the third big free agent is Cordell Flott. This is his first year as a starter, and he looked great. He's kind of struggled to get on the field before this year, and he really broke out this year. But I don't think he'll be back. I don't think John Harbaugh is going to prioritize a corner the size of Cordell Flott. He's not a big guy. I think he had a really good statistical season, but I don't know that that translates to repeat success. I think with a year of tape as a starter, teams will attack him differently going forward. He's a small guy, but he does play physically. He's not afraid to get physical, but I just don't see Harbaugh prioritizing a guy that slight and with so little starter experience. So I think Cordell Flott will leave. And I think he's going to get a pretty shocking contract. I think he could be like that Jackrabbit contract the Giants gave out years ago, like 5 years, 60. I think he's going to get overpaid, and I don't really want to be the team to do it. I'd offer him kind of in the ballpark of what I offered Wan'Dale. They're kind of similar players in the way that I view them. Small, limited in their ceiling. Their highest potential isn't that high. So I think Cordell Flott and Wan'Dale Robinson will both be gone. I would do everything I can to keep Jermaine Illuminor. The most shocking stuff I've heard come out about the Giants are that they are very heavily in on the running back market. And that's kind of shocking to me on the surface. I think Cam Skattebo and Tyrone Tracy are a damn good 1-2 punch. I don't think either of them are a true number one running back. I don't know that you need a true number one running back in this league, the way things are. But Harbaugh is kind of a power run scheme. He likes bigger guys. I think the interior offensive line, which needs a lot of improvement, could see some big weighty guys come in to beef up the interior offensive line. But to see them so aggressive on Kenneth Walker, on Travis Etienne, hearing that they're in on Jeremiah Love, I would not be surprised to find out that Harbaugh does not value Tracy or Scat. Sorry about that. I received a call. I don't think Harbaugh's going to like either of them. Tracy has to get an extension next year, and I don't think he's a number one back. I think he is like he's a top 5 number 2 running back. And I kind of think that's Scat's role as well. You saw the way he played last year. I cannot go into a season believing Cam Skattebo will play a full season ever because of the way the physical style that he runs, the way he just slams his head into people, the way he has like no regard for his body. I don't think Harbaugh's going to see that as a guy he can afford to build around. I wouldn't be shocked to see both of them traded, frankly. I think he could keep one of them as a backup, but I do think we're going to get another running back in here this year to start. And I'm kind of shocked by that because I thought Skattebo and Tracy would split the load this year, but shockingly, that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go into the season with Scat as the primary backup and short yardage guy. And it's kind of his ceiling, in my opinion. I don't think he'll ever be a down-to-down running back. So now I'm going to get into the offensive needs. In this simulation, we're going to say I kept Jermaine Illuminor, so we don't need tackles. Left and right tackle are set. We need interior offensive line pretty badly. We've got John Runyon at left guard, who I'm fine going into next year starting, but I'm also fine if he's cut because I think you save like $7 million if you cut him. At center, it's John Michael Schmitz. I feel like you'll see Giants fans on both sides of the fence with JMS. I'm on the side of the fence where I don't want to lock him up. I'd cut him. I don't think he's done enough. I don't think he's improved enough. I don't think he's met his expectations as a player. So I think they'll need a new center. And I think if they don't cut him, I could see them maybe trying to make him a guard. And right guard we need, because Greg Van Roten, I think he'll come back for like $3 million to be a swing offensive lineman, rotational guy, because I think he's a New York guy. I think he's from the area, and he's at the end of his career. I don't think somebody's going to pay him upwards of like $6 to $10 million. He'll probably be back as a rotational player on the Giants. So I do think they definitely need to attack the interior of that offensive line. I think that they need wide receiver. Malik, if everything goes perfectly, Malik could be back to start the season, but I just can't sit here today banking on that. I think you have to have enough depth that Malik doesn't have to be ready to go week 1. I would cut Darius Slayton, but I think his contract doesn't really allow that yet. And with Malik being out, keeping somebody who knows Jackson Dart has value. So despite him kind of being ass for his entire career, he'll probably be back. But I think they need at least 1, maybe 2 wide receivers to be added. I think they need cornerback help, especially not retaining Cordell. I think they could also move on from Deontay Banks, but I could also see them trying to see if he'll fit in their system. So I could see him going into next year. But they'll have Paulson Adebo, Andrew Phillips, and him. I think they should get somebody else in there to play on the outside. Then at safety, I'm kind of good on Tyler Nubin. I don't know that I see it with him. He hasn't matched his ball-hawking college tape. He hasn't been around the ball as often as I'd like. He's almost created no turnovers if he has any turnovers. I'm good on Cordell Flott. I think they need an in-the-box safety to come back. Maybe Dane Belton's that answer. But for maybe tight end as well. I'm not a big Theo Johnson guy. I don't think he's physical enough. I don't think he has good enough hands. So I think tight end could be an option as well. I also think they'll trade Kayvon Thibodeau. I personally wouldn't, because the second Abdul Carter or Brian Burns gets hurt, you are up against it in terms of your depth, and that's one of the only positions you have depth on this roster. So I don't love the idea of trading Kayvon unless you're getting real value for him, like late second, early third, or maybe a player like a DJ Moore. I think Kayvon for DJ Moore kind of benefits both sides. The Bears have Luther Burden and Ruma Dunze. They could use a pass rusher to pair with Montez Sweat, so I could see DJ Moore for Kayvon being a realistic player-for-player trade. Now I'm going to get into free agents. Looking at the wide receiver position, if he makes it to free agency, I think Alec Pierce could be good. Mike Evans is there. I don't know if he'll see the Giants as a Super Bowl contender, so I don't know that he'll be on the market for the Giants. Jawan Jennings is a possibility. Rashid Shaheed, I liked Rashid Shaheed when he went to Seattle. I would really like to see him as a Giant. Marquise Brown, maybe as a one-year rental. But then there's a lot of, like, on the fringes guys like John Mechie, Jahan Dotson, Nick Aquino, Westbrook could all be options as depth guys. And I do like the idea of a DJ Moore trade. Or you could get a guy at pick 5. Carnell Tate I like a lot. I think Carnell Tate pairs up with Malik Neighbors really well. I'm not a big Jordan Tyson guy. I don't know that I want a guy who has college injury problems coming to the pros. Then at interior offensive line, I don't think there's anybody at pick 5 I would take on the offensive line. But Tyler Linderbaum is the biggest target for the Giants this offseason. I think you give him whatever he wants, bring him from Baltimore with you, so that you reset your center position to be a core part of the offensive line moving forward. And as far as guards go, I think you could pick up somebody in the mid rounds, but there is also a lot of veterans. Joel Petonio, Wyatt Teller, Kevin Zeitler, Isaac Ciamolo, James Daniels. There's a lot of guys. Bring one of them in. I'd probably target Zeitler. He's a former Giant. I'd love to see him come back in. Then what other position should I look at? If they move on at tight end, I could see David Njoku, Dallas Goedert. They obviously know him in the division. If you don't want to go as pricey, I do like Isaiah Likely, but I don't know how Harbaugh feels about him, if that's a guy he wants to bring over or not. Linebacker definitely needs help. I would love Nakobe Dean from Philly. He's young. I think there's not a ton here. It's a lot of veterans. Maybe Quay Walker. Devin Lloyd could be a solid pickup. I'd like him as well. At cornerback, there's a couple of Chiefs corners that are solid. Jamel Dean could be good. I like Dean. Jimmy Ward, Jonathan Jones, Eric Stokes. There's enough guys on the corner market where you can get another body in the room. And if I can point out a safety I would target, not a lot of depth on the safety market. Maybe Ardarius Washington. I think he's a former Raven. Maybe Cam Curl, Geno Stone. There's a lot of bodies there. So I think you'll probably see somebody else come in at safety. So, what do you guys think of the Giants heading into this offseason? Let me quickly say, at pick 5, best player available is usually my lean, especially first round. Caleb Downs could be a pick. Sonny Styles just blew up the combine. He could be the pick. Carnell Tate could be the pick. I guess Jordan Tyson, I don't really see him being the guy. I think Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, and Caleb Downs are the most likely picks for the Giants. And I hope they address the offensive line through trade and free agency so they don't have to draft anybody from this class high, because I don't really see anybody with a high upside. So, biggest free agents I want are Tyler Linderbaum, maybe an Alec Pierce if you can get him. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what John Harbaugh is going to do with this roster and how he values the current people on the roster that Giants fans like Cam Skattebo, like Jermaine Illuminor, like Wan'Dale Robinson, Cordell Flott, Bobby Okereke. He could be cut. So, give me your thoughts on the New York Giants offseason down below. Tell me what you thought of my predictions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's big. There's a lot of guys that should be cut that Joe Shane signed last year. Be ready for a lot of roster overhaul. And based on that, the Giants might not be an immediate contender, like an immediate 12-win team. I think this could be a reshaping of the roster kind of year. Give me your thoughts on the Giants offseason down below. Tell me what you want to see me do next as a video. I'll probably do a New York Mets season video now that spring training has gotten started. What other sports content do you want to see me cover? I'm not going to cover the NBA. That league kind of died to me. I don't follow it anymore. I'm not a Nets fan anymore. Kevin Durant and James Harden blew up that team and killed my love of them. So let me know what kind of sports stuff you want to see me do. I do think me and my friend Ryan are going to do another Ryan and Ryan mock draft. So keep your eyes out for that. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And the Goose is out. Ha!